Please join me in welcoming the team from Wilfred Laurier University. Judges, please scroll to their green sheet in your judge handbook. Students, I will now have you please state your school name so we can ensure your audio is working. Elizabeth?
Wilfred Laurier University.
Hannah?
Wilfred Laurier University.
Jessica?
Wilfred Laurier University.
And Leanna?
Wilfred Laurier University.
Wilfred Laurier University, you may now begin your presentation.
Think of the challenges you faced while in lockdown and the impact it had on your mental health. Now imagine that while in an abusive relationship. Before the pandemic, 1 in 3 women would experience domestic abuse at some point in their life, and every 6 days, a woman was killed by her partner. Since the pandemic, there has been a 12% increase in domestic abuse calls. The fear and loneliness some women are currently feeling and the impact this has had on their mental health is unimaginable. Our mission is to assist victims during incidents of abuse and support them through recovery.
At the time of assault, there are limited options available to get help. Apps do exist that record an attack, but are expensive, are not easily accessible as the user has to manually press record, and the evidence is stored on the phone. This places the victim in greater danger if discovered. After an attack, 53% of women don't report partner abuse because their cases often get dismissed due to lack of evidence. Many women also fear being categorized as crazy or overdramatic. This only intensifies their loneliness and reinforces the need for mental health support. Our product, Solus, will be a hidden app that will not be easily recognizable to the abuser. Solus will be free to ensure accessibility. It will begin recording automatically when it hears certain keywords or phrases said by the victim or the abuser. And the recording will be stored in our secure server to ensure it can't get deleted and can be used as evidence for trial. But that's not all. Once the recording starts, our app connects to a trained specialist that will determine if the situation is an emergency and dispatch if necessary. Later, the specialist will assist the user with the development of a personalized recovery plan.
We will have 2 key partners, Assaulted Women's Helpline and Pro Bono Students Canada. Helpline specialists will determine if the situation is an emergency and dispatch assistance. The student lawyers will offer free legal services. We plan to initially target women on our campus through Google Ads, local publicity, and through the Student Wellness Center. In order to have a sustainable business model, we will offer fitness classes to all students, such as meditation, yoga, and self-defense. This not only helps their mental health, but it also gives them a break from their studies. Paying for these classes will allow students to support victims while also learning more about partner abuse and ending the stigma.
The key metrics we will use to measure our impact on students and victims will include level of awareness, number of cases prevented, and successful justice received. These will be tracked through surveys and feedback forms, as well as monitored through our services, both during and after the abuse. This is a dangerous and growing issue that can't be faced by the victim alone. Solace is the strength women need to speak up against partner abuse, reduce the stigma surrounding it, and end the cycle once and for all.
It is now time for the question and answer period. Judges, please submit your questions through the chat function at the bottom of your screen. Click on chat and use the drop-down to ensure you send your questions directly to me, moderator Brittany Johnston. Denise asks, how does a hidden app work?
I can take this one. So the way a hidden app works is when the user downloads the app, there is a series of instructions in order to make sure the setup is all complete. And once everything that we need to ensure their safety is done, then there's instructions on how to hide the icon. So it's not actually visible on the home screen. And then if the user needs to access the app later, they can go in through settings, but it's a lot more complicated.
Trina from the Cooperators asks, how will you be educating about abuse in the classes you will be hosting?
I can answer this one. So we will be offering fitness classes to all students on our campus that they can attend for a fee of $5. And through these classes, we'll be helping their mental health because as you are getting better physical health, it does relate to your mental health. And then also with these classes, at the end of them, we will be talking about partner abuse and just raising awareness about our program and about the issue that we are trying to solve.
Jessica from the Cooperators asks, what is the prevalence of domestic abuse on your campus? i.e., is the need evident on your campus versus in the community at large?
Yeah, I can take that one. So right now, we were not able to access any exact statistics during this competition, but we are looking to get those stats. From personal experience, we could all say that the stats on campus would be reflective of what is out there in the community at large. So we do believe that there is an issue and that it is a large issue, and that's why we are here today.
Amy from the Cooperators asks, how will you encourage those that are abused to use the app and feel safe to use it, especially those that may have used other methods before with no success?
I can take this one. Part of the reason we are excited about Solus is because it is really bridging the gap between what victims previously had available to them and what they really need. So through education and by demonstrating and trials, we will ensure that victims are comfortable using the app, and we will be working with them to ensure that we're constantly listening to their feedback and improving based on ever-changing needs.
Rashed from the Cooperators asks, what are some major operating costs of this project?
I can take this one again. Our biggest cost will be app development. We intend to hire students to create more jobs and again, raise awareness better. However, despite our biggest cost being the web development, app development, we do believe that we can get grants for this because it will be, this is an issue that people are actively trying to solve. The other costs that we might be having are the specialists and the lawyers, but we do hope that we will be able to get, again, funding, or that it will be pro bono basis.
Trina from the Cooperators asks, are there any issues around privacy with this project?
I could take this question. So similar to other voice activated devices such as Alexa, we will obviously follow the Privacy Act and legal laws. And additionally, only the evidence that is identified by the specialists as proper evidence will be stored. And similar to Siri, all the evidence that is stored in our private servers will be encrypted in identifiers that have no information about the victim collected from the app.
Glenn from the Cooperators asks, will students use this app when there are many other apps available? What will be different or encourage the use of this specific app?
Yeah, I can take this question. So there are many things that make our app unique and accessible. Specifically, our app is offered for free. There are other recording app options, but we found that they all came with a cost. And our goal
Your
is
time has expired. Judges, please join me in congratulating the team from Wilfred Laurier University. Judges, we have a couple minutes as we bring in the next team. Please use this time to complete your green sheet and we'll get started momentarily. Please join me in welcoming the team from Seneca College. Judges, please scroll to their green sheet in your judge handbook. Students, please state your school name so we can ensure your audio is working. Seneca College, you may now begin your presentation.
2020, a year like no other. With all these on and off lockdowns, the desire for human connection has skyrocketed, which led to the increase of social media use. And a topic that was strongly vocalized within the media was the rise of racial injustice, leading to an increase of mental health instability. On top of that, the stress of being in school already takes a huge toll on a student's mental health, in which I present to you the Overcomer, a mentorship program specifically designed for students within the Black, Asian, and minority ethnic groups, in which they are partnered with counselors of similar ethnic backgrounds, that aims to equip the students on how to navigate the student life in spite of the everyday challenges that they may face, such as racism and discrimination, social and economic inequalities, and mental health stigma. It has a very specific onboarding approach as it promotes a sense of comfortability in knowing that they're being helped not just by anyone, but by individuals who face and overcome similar challenges. This approach creates meaningful relationships for the students while ensuring open accessibility. The counselor is their direct resource. Right now, the Seneca community, there are 3 resources that I plan to partnership with. First, the Seneca Student Federation that can promote student support with mental health and funding. Second is the Seneca's counseling and accessibility services that can offer their counselors to be part of the program. And lastly, the Seneca Fitness and Recreation Department that can promote and provide practical healthy habits to increase mental health resiliency. Once we have established a strong foundation of counselors and these partnerships, we can then move forward to advertising the program to the students. The plan to reach the target audience is by first promoting online through Instagram, as most colleges are active on this platform. 2, having a credible online presence by having a website. And 3, to hosting an online launch event, which will be promoted through the Seneca Student Life email, reaching the entire Seneca community. As for the budget, it'll be a total of $1,000 for the website creation and marketing. The impact we expect to have on their students is to empower them and to instill an increase in confidence, stability, and mental strength. Thus, we will be measuring the success of the program based on the number of students receiving access to the program and the number of students who are able to increase their mental health resiliency. With the Overcomer, it is positioned to not just be another mental health program, but a program designed to engage, equip, and empower these students within the minority ethnic groups on how to successfully overcome their day-to-day challenges by strengthening their overall mental health resiliency. Thank you.
It is now time for the question and answer period. Judges, please submit your questions through the chat function at the bottom of your screen. Click on chat and use the drop down to ensure you send your questions directly to me, moderator Brittany Johnson. Denise from the Cooperators asks, how does the project know there will be the skill set and variety of ethnic representation within their partners, the counseling and accessibility department?
Okay. So within the initial rollout, we do plan to reach the counseling services to see what available ethnic backgrounds there are. Say there is a lack of diversity in terms of the Black, Asian, or ethnic minority groups. We will then expand it to the GTA, but before targeting those people, we would do a research of where the highly populated ethnic backgrounds are, ensuring the efficiency of recruiting them.
Trina from the Cooperators asks, what is the plan to coach the coaches? Will you have a training program built, or will you be going externally for training?
As for the training, again, these are qualified counselors, so they have a background in mental health. But for the program, to make sure everyone's aligned to the vision, which is to increase their mental health resiliency, we will have a separate online training or in person, depending on COVID, of what the purpose is and making sure that their steps are in line to the vision.
Rashad from the Cooperators asks, what are some existing resources you would like to use?
Some existing resources right now is that we have these, again, I mentioned the Seneca Recreation and Fitness department, in which I believe mental health is not just about how we go about mentally, and it's also about our behavior. So what can students do physically and practically to enable them to increase their overall mental health?
Jessica from the Cooperators asks, is there any aspect of this project that aims to break down the systemic racism that exists, in addition to helping racialized students to build greater resiliency?
In regards to the racial injustice and mental health, I believe just for this program, it is to help the students, equip them on how to navigate, especially in this day and age. We're seeing on the news all these reports, or the media actually highlighting these events. So it's now the program's part to enable them on how to navigate them.
Glenn from the cooperators asks, will there be a cost to use, and or are there enough resources through the counseling area?
As for the cost, the initial rollout of the program will be depending on the funds between Seneca or the Seneca Student Federation or even Enactus. And as we grow this solid foundation, we will then be adding a premium charge in which students are able to purchase a monthly subscription of $10 to ensure the revenue and the cash flow and the longevity of this program.
Jessica from the cooperators asks, are there plans to expand beyond the campus?
Yes, so after we have established a strong foundation within the campus, we can then not just expand our target audience, not just to Seneca students, but students within the GTA, meaning that this business model can then be used in other campuses, in other universities and colleges.
Glenn from the cooperators asks, you indicate one of the goals is to increase mental health resiliency. What is meant by this?
For us to calculate or measure if the student's mental health is increasing in terms of resiliency, there'll be within the 1 year, they'll do an assessment of the students, whether it be online or face-to-face, analyzing how their confidence, their stability, and mental strength are in particular situations. For example, how they are with exam prepping, how they are in group work and presentations, or even their overall time management with school.
Denise from the cooperators asks, are there roles for allies, not specifically identifying as BIPOC, to support your project?
Sorry, can you repeat that question?
Are there roles for allies, not specifically identifying as BIPOC, so your students within the Black, Asian, and ethnic minority groups, to support your project?
As of right now, we are focusing on getting people or leaders within those ethnic groups, just because they have been able to overcome those challenges, and it gives the sense of comfortability for the students knowing that they are being strengthened or supported within their community. As for allies,
your time has expired. Judges, please join me in congratulating the team from Seneca College. Judges, we have a couple minutes as we bring in the next team. Please use this time to complete your green sheet and we'll get started momentarily. Students, you may now leave the meeting. Please join me in welcoming the team from Ryerson University. Judges, please scroll to their green sheet in your judge handbook. Students, please say your school name to ensure your audio is working.
Ryerson.
Ryerson University.
Ryerson University.
Ryerson University.
Ryerson University, you may now begin your presentation.
What happens when your state of well-being becomes unbalanced?
When overwhelming circumstances occur.
Starting a new job, or entering the world of post-secondary studies.
These are all examples of situations that can create a sense of anxiety for individuals.
As exciting as it can be to start something new, it can also be very scary and nerve-wracking.
41.6% of college students will experience anxiety as a top presenting concern. Sometimes what students need when feeling disconnected is a sense of community.
Going through the post-secondary system, we realize how important it is to prioritize your mental health. 75% of mental health problems start before the age of 25. This is why we should target the problem at a younger age.
As a result, we are here today to pitch Project Connected.
Project Connected is a program for post-secondary students in their first and second year that focuses on prioritizing mental well-being through interactive workshops and mentorships.
We created a 12-week program where students attend 1-hour sessions to strengthen their resiliency. Some of the topics we cover are delayed gratification, self-compassion, and the overjustification effect. These sessions will be hosted by trained industry facilitators.
We also want to create relationships between upper and lower year students to form a support group. Our goal is for students to come out of the program with a sense of community that can help them through their hard times.
We believe that nothing is stronger than relationships, and with the right people, you can get through anything. To create these relationships, we are matching our students with mentors nearing graduation for 1-hour mentoring sessions.
Every week, mentors and mentees will meet up to go over the program, discuss their current well-being, and stay connected.
To make communication more accessible between all students, we came up with the idea of using Discord, a social platform that allows users to join servers.
In these servers, you can find multiple channels and discussions that you can join. For example, in our server, we have 3 different channels.
Advice, a channel where students can ask for guidance and receive it from upper year students.
Connect, a channel where students can introduce themselves and find like-minded students with similar interests and hobbies.
Programming, a channel devoted to answering any questions students may have about the program that is run by the project managers.
The Discord server allows students to interact without having to formally set up calls, making it easily accessible. They can hop on and talk whenever, wherever.
Accessibility to mental health is our biggest focus.
And with the right support system and resources, students can overcome their battle with mental health.
Finding the right support system is our goal.
At Enactus Ryerson, we want everyone to be connected.
It is now time for the question and answer period. Judges, please submit your questions through the chat function at the bottom of your screen. Click on chat and use the drop-down to ensure you send your questions directly to me, Moderator Brittany Johnson. Denise from the Cooperators asks, how will the cost of the 1-hour sessions be budgeted?
Yeah, the way it's going to be budgeted is by separating the workbook costs with the sheets and the binder. We got a total of $400 for about 50 students so far.
Trina from the Cooperators asks, what makes your program different from any other support services that might already be offered on campus?
What makes our program different compared to other support services is the mentorship aspect. So we understand how important it is to provide the educational aspect, but we also understand how important it is to actually be able to provide that support. So by connecting our, first and second year students with our upper year students, we're really able to provide a safe community where they're really able to, explore their mental health challenges and really overcome those barriers.
Glenn from the Cooperators asks, how will you find your mentors and what training will they receive?
The way that we can find our mentors is finding people like ourselves. I know that for me, first year was hard, and now being in fourth year, knowing different tools how to learn and develop my mental health, that someone like myself, someone from Enactus, can be a mentor, and other people in student groups that have been thriving as well.
Jessica.
Sorry.
Jessica. Jessica from the Cooperators asks, where will your program need the most help? I.e., what is the part that is least well developed at this point, or where you anticipate issues may arise?
I think the part that we would need the most help with is with the Discord community and the mentorship, just because the 12-week program, because it's going to be led by trained facilitators, we have more of the resources and the knowledge that is needed to run those workshops. Whereas with the mentor sessions, we need to make sure that we match the right mentee with the right mentor, and so that they actually work well with one another and they actually are able to communicate beyond the 1-hour sessions on the Discord community and still maintain that sense of relationship with one another.
Amy from the Cooperators asks, what are your plans if the mentor and mentee was not a good match and it did not lead the mentee to feel connected or lead them to success?
If the match between the mentors and the mentees isn't that great, we at Enactus Ryerson really believe in being adaptable. So we would connect them with a different mentor that is perhaps better suited to handle their challenges that they may face. Enactus Ryerson already has a mentorship program, so we're already quite well versed within that space. And many times we've switched mentors with mentees to provide a better fit. At the end of the day, we're here to serve students and we want to be able to basically serve their needs the best way possible, so we will adapt.
Shed from the Cooperators asks, would there be an incentive for the mentor to attract them to enroll in the program?
I think that one of the incentives can be kind of just showcasing what we have to offer. We had a lot of their grants this year come about, so I think that wouldn't be a problem if we just developed maybe a cash prize or something like that. Yeah.
Jessica from the Cooperators asks, what does success look like?
Success for us looks like a student's success within their academic studies or extracurricular studies. So we're going to do both pre and post program surveys to understand where students were prior to our program and workshops, and then afterwards, and be able to track metrics such as grades, part-time work experience, stuff like that, to make sure that they're really improving in all aspects of their lives, and really being able to track those metrics and to see how they were before the program and after the program.
Denise from the Cooperators asks, will you be leveraging any existing resources in the community or at the school? Thinking about any partnerships with supports out there?
Yes, there's another program in the school called Thriving in Action. They have 2 facilitators that we definitely want to speak with and get in contact with. They're very, very supportive. So definitely connecting and leveraging our school resources and professors.
They actually provide the mental health workshops, so they would be able to provide a lot of the material.
Time has expired. Judges, please join me in congratulating the team from Ryerson University. Students, you may now leave the meeting. Judges, we now have a scheduled break. Please ensure that you are back at your screens no later than 11:30 a.m. Eastern, when we will begin the final 3 presentations. Please join me in welcoming the team from Western University. Judges, please scroll to their green sheet in your judge handbook. Students, please state your school name so we can ensure your audio is working.
Western University.
Western University, you may now begin your presentation.
When you hear a student make jokes about how anxious or depressed they are, it's usually accompanied by laughter, a lot of Me Too's, or jokes about finally just dropping out. The problem is this isn't a joke. Mental health is one of the most pressing issues across university campuses. In 2019, the National College Health Assessment found that more than half of students in Ontario had felt so depressed it was difficult to function. Almost 70% experienced overwhelming anxiety, and 17%, almost 1 in 5 students, seriously considered suicide. Unfortunately, those numbers are only going to continue to rise without feasible, effective plans to change things. This brings us to Branch Out, an all-encompassing one-stop shop for mental health resources and student support. The inspiration behind the project comes from my own experiences with 1, being an out-of-province student without a support system in London, 2, quickly learning that our campus is ill-equipped to provide long-term support, and 3, struggling to access resources in the community. Branch Out will not only be a platform for mental health resources, awareness, and collaboration, but an initiative that bridges the gap between student voices and the administration. The platform will have 3 main components. The first is student-built resources. Our campus is filled with clubs that focus on many aspects of wellness, but so many students don't know about them. We hope to incorporate their resources and events onto our platform.
In welcoming the team from Western University. Judges, please scroll to their green sheet in your judge handbook. Students, Please state your school name so we can ensure your audio is working.
Western University. About how anxious or depressed they are. It's usually accompanied.
Sorry,
by
it's
laughter.
playing
A
back
lot of
for me. I'm not
Me Too's
sure what's
or
going
jokes
on.
about finally just dropping out. The problem is this isn't a joke.
Bianca, do you have the stream open?
Pressing issues
Oh,
across
goodness, I
university
do.
campuses.
Sorry.
In 2019,
I'm so sorry about that. I'll just continue. So the second is administrative support. We want to work with our Health and Wellness Center to compile community resources in a way that is less overwhelming and easily accessible to students. And the third is mental health awareness. We want to promote the commitment to destigmatizing mental health by hosting speakers that will discuss wellness-related topics. These speakers can include professors, researchers, community leaders in the health field, and students that feel comfortable sharing their experiences. Branch Out is a unique in the sense that we want to focus on involving students and taking charge of their own mental health. This is why we want to partner with various clubs on campus that already have a passion for bettering some aspect of student wellness. The more students we can involve in this project, the better the impact. Now let's take a look at the logistics. The majority of our time and money will go into building the platform. We have a budget of $1,500 with $1,000 going towards the development and maintenance of the website, and the remaining $500 will go towards creating incentives for students to participate in events and providing small gifts as thanks to speakers for their time. We aim to measure success by asking students to fill out anonymous questionnaires through
Your
our platform regarding
presentation
their
time
experiences.
has expired. It is now time for the question and answer period. Judges, please submit your questions through the chat function at the bottom of your screen. Click on chat and use the drop-down to ensure you send your questions directly to me, moderator Brittany Johnston. Jessica from the Cooperators asks, can you please repeat the 3 components of the platform?
Yes, absolutely. So the first one is the student-built resources. So we see that our campus is filled with so many clubs that focus on different aspects of wellness, but the problem is a lot of students don't know about them because they may be smaller clubs and there's just a lot of them. So we hope to incorporate their resources and events onto our platform so we can cross-promote, and that'll hopefully promote better visibility and have higher student participation. The second is administrative support. So we want to work with the Health and Wellness Center at our school to compile community resources in a way that's less overwhelming and easily accessible to students. And then there's also the mental health awareness that we want to promote, kind of destigmatizing mental health by hosting speakers that can discuss different aspects of wellness. So people like professors, researchers, community leaders, and then students as well that would like to share their experiences.
Amy from the Cooperators asks, how will you encourage students to participate besides the monetary gifts or prizes?
I think that one of the ways that we can do this is we have so many students involved in different clubs across campus, and there are students that are involved with the specific ones that we want to have join our site. So just having a lot of options of things that they can access on our site, would that be, workout classes with some of the different sports clubs, or there are different events that some clubs put on that include day trips in London for different things that are happening around the city. I think those are kind of the ways that we want to have them reach out. And another thing is that I think that most students find that Western has difficulty kind of supporting them long-term. They're really great for in-the-moment resources, but kind of long-term resources are a little bit scarce. So I think that students will appreciate having a place where they can go to find all of these resources and then participate in the events as well.
Wilfred from the Cooperators asks, what does success look like?
So success to us is one part of the way that we're going to be measuring success is kind of asking students to fill out the anonymous surveys when they do visit our site, and kind of share their experiences with us, as well as provide comments as to anything that can be improved. And having students collaborate with us on this platform, I think will be the biggest success. The more students that we can get involved across campus will be the biggest cornerstone to figuring out how successful we are, as well as we want to kind of use the tracking data that's provided by the website platform that we'll be using and keeping track of how many students attend our events. If we see a continuous growth of more and more students using our platform and service, that'll be success to us.
Len from the Cooperators asks, There are many mental health resources already available. What would be different about this platform to ensure usage?
The biggest thing about the mental health resources that are available currently is that they're all over the place and they're difficult to find. I personally had a hard time kind of reaching out to the different resources available at Western because one, for a lot of students, I know this is the case, when you're struggling, it's hard to ask for help. And the second is when you go to try and find these resources, they're put across multiple different websites. They're hard to find. It's just hard to know where these things are. So kind of providing a place where everything is in one place, where all the links are there, you can jump to whatever you need in that one location, really takes the stress out of that whole experiencing of trying to find help. That I think that will be the biggest way that students will come to our site, just because it'll be easier.
If there are issues with awareness of various clubs available, how will you promote your platform differently to get people's attention?
I think that collaborating with the university itself will be one of the biggest ways that we can do that. I know that Western really does care about their students and also loves to support student-run businesses and projects that we do. We see that through a lot of involvement through the Entrepreneurship Center. So having Western also help promote the club will probably be the best way that we can kind of reach like widespread visibility within the students, even if we don't have as much club involvement as we'd hope. So yeah, using the Entrepreneurship Center and the university's administration, as well as the Learning and Development Center, all of those avenues can help us promote the site as well.
Denise from the Cooperators asks, is the goal to identify problems and enact change?
Yes, so that's kind of, we want to build a platform around what students really need. So that's why we have having students from different clubs be involved, as well as having as much feedback as possible going through of asking students what great mental health looks like to them, what they could see would be better to have on campus to help them. So the biggest thing here is we're trying to connect with students as much as possible and ask them exactly what they need in terms of having a better mental health and better experiences at university.
Your time has expired. Judges, please join me in congratulating the team from Western University. Judges, we have a couple minutes as we bring in the next team. Please use this time to complete your green sheet and we'll get started momentarily. Students, you may now leave the meeting. Please join me in welcoming the team from Okanagan College. Judges, please scroll to their green sheet in your judge handbook. Students, please state your school name so we can ensure your audio is working. Elizabeth?
Okanagan College.
McKenna?
Okanagan College.
Nicole?
Okanagan College.
Rachel?
Okanagan College.
Okanagan College, you may now begin your presentation.
My friend, Anna, was struggling to find ways to cope with the stress of balancing a full course load, a part-time job, and her volunteer role. She confided in me and asked what I did to manage the stress in my life. I told her I enjoyed going to the gym as an outlet and recommended she tried the same. But Anna said that she couldn't afford a gym pass and didn't have access to the appropriate equipment. In response, we developed the Fit Kit to remove the financial barrier around fitness and give students like Anna the opportunity to work out at a low cost.
Physical activity is proven to reduce anxiety and increase one's cognitive abilities, which ultimately increases students' focus, energy, and positivity. FitKit gives students, like Anna, convenient access to better themselves both physically and mentally from the comfort of their own homes with a workout program specifically designed for students. Additionally, FitKit eliminates the barrier that most students face of not having access to proper equipment.
For $25, students can subscribe to receive a startup kit that will contain 2 to 4 basic portable workout equipment. With this purchase, students will receive a complimentary 1-year subscription, giving them access to tailored workouts throughout the year.
To encourage physical activity and track their progress, students will sign up online and will have the option to connect with their peers. This will provide encouragement, support, and interaction with other students across Canada. Each workout will earn the students points, and at the end of a semester, students who reach their goals will be eligible to win prizes.
This project has limited financial risk, opportunities to scale, and the ability to generate a profit. FitKit will pilot at Okanagan College, with plans to start expanding to other schools across Canada by year 2. Local trainers and businesses will work with us to supply the contents of our kits. FitKit will be fully funded through the purchase of the pilot kits, which will allow us to cover the initial cost.
We will have an initial profit margin of 5%. We project to have initial revenue of $5,000. This model will allow us to scale our project to the next level.
Our Fit Kit allows students like Anna to improve their mental wellness through physical activity without having to worry about purchasing a gym pass or accessing proper equipment. And thanks to Fit Kit's online platform, Anna now has a community that she can connect with and reach out to for support.
At Enactus OC, we believe that all students should have access to physical activities and programs to improve their mental wellness, regardless of their ability to pay.
It is now time for the question and answer period. Judges, please submit your questions through the chat function at the bottom of your screen. Click on chat and use the drop-down to ensure you send your questions directly to me, moderator Brittany Johnston. Jessica from the Cooperators asks, there are many fitness programs and apps available. How is FitKit different than what is already out there?
So what makes FitKit unique is two things. So firstly, we deliver that equipment to the students. So a lot of students, they don't have access to resistance bands or the proper equipment, or they just don't know what to buy. So therefore FitKit gives them that equipment and provides them instructions on how to use that equipment. And second off, FitKit connects them to a community of students from across Canada. So a lot of the times students who are feeling isolated and working out by themselves feel too isolated, and therefore this FitKit allows them to connect with the community, that provides them support and encouragement and allows them to improve their mental wellness.
Glenn from the Cooperators asks, what are some of the items that will be in the kits?
So our example is our pilot kit, which will include basic workout equipment. For the first kit, that will include resistance bands, a jump rope, and core sliders, as well as a monthly workout plan that will be tailored to the student demographic and access to our online platform for the students to connect with their peers.
Denise from the Cooperators asks, are there existing fitness and recreational programs at the school / in the community, and how does the cost compare?
Currently, we do not have anything like this in our community. We have a gym at our school. However, it is closed due to the COVID-19 pandemic, so students have not been able to access it for the past year. So FitKit provides an opportunity for students to access physical activity throughout the entire year, regardless of the pandemic and regardless of gyms being open or not. The costs are comparable.
Amy from the Cooperators asks, how will you encourage students to actually take advantage of the workout sessions once the kits are received?
So this will be done through our online point system for the encouragement for students to track their progress and see that they are in fact reaching their goals, as well as the ability to connect with the other students across Canada, where they can form connections and really support one another through this FitKit.
Jessica from the Cooperators asks, what are the specific mental health benefits of FitKit and how will these be measured?
So this project helps with mental wellness because it gives students the chance to connect with like-minded individuals who may be facing similar stresses in their lives. Physical activity really helps improves one's positivity towards their life and their schoolwork, and it gives them an outlet to manage their stress. And with the connections that the students will have through our online platform, they'll be able to really build a community and have a support system through their difficult times.
Rena from the Cooperators asks, can you speak more to the one-year subscription and platform? Are there demonstration videos? And if so, where will you get the content?
Yeah, so when the students purchase a kit, they get the 1-year complimentary access to the program or to the online, where it's like a forum and they can talk with each other. There will be instructional videos and also resources that students can use to find other mental wellness outlets. And there will also be resources on how they can use other equipment within their homes to use like free weights and things like that. So there will be many different ways through the online platform that they can improve their mental wellness.
Rashad from the Cooperators asks, what's the effort to manage the community connection?
The effort to manage the community connection would be just through our social media and through the forum, and making sure that we as Enactus volunteers are also connecting with the students and encouraging them to work out and encouraging them to participate with each other on the forums and to communicate with each other and to become one community together.
Jessica from the Cooperators asks, what's the project budget?
So our cost for the actual packages is about $23.75. We'll have a profit margin of 5%, giving us a $1.25.
Your time has expired. Judges, please join me in congratulating the team from Okanagan College. Judges, we have a couple minutes as we bring in the next team. Please use this time to complete your green sheet and we'll get started momentarily. Students, you may now leave the meeting. Please join me in welcoming the team from George Brown College. Judges, please scroll to their green sheet in your judge handbook. Students, please state your school name so we can ensure your audio is working.
George Brown College.
George Brown College, you may now begin your presentation.
What led me to have an academic status of compulsory withdrawal was a combination of an overload of schoolwork, stress, and mental health issues. I found out by the end of the semester that I had that status. I was disappointed in myself when I found out. I proceeded to feel down about it and eventually dropped out due to lack of confidence. It was deterring from my future school academics because I felt I couldn't do it. This is one of the illustrative excerpts from student stories in the report from Higher Education Quality Council of Ontario. Each student is unique, and having the insight and correct approach to career building can help them look forward to enclosing their struggles with the community and therefore access specifically their mental health by knowing the services at George Brown College. Hi, my name is Annie. What do you look forward to every day? Medium UGBC is inspired with my own navigation through the college. It was my second chance at higher education. I want all students to know that if there is a will, there is a way. If you don't have money, there's OSAP or bursaries. If there's a problem you're stuck on, there is the tutoring center or a community such as peer leading groups at George Brown College. During this pandemic, there are so many opportunities to socialize as well. I do not want to reinvent the wheel, but the scavenger hunt bingo, as you can see on the screen, is supposed to put the community on the map and utilize the potential in all of the students and bring them intrinsic motivations. The scavenger hunt bingo is sort of like a social worker, but through different boxes. This scavenger hunt bingo is also to promote a safe culture for all students through discovery of self, developing their intrinsic confidence, developing a personal support system through networking skills, which leads to friendships, involvement, and engagement. In fact, George Brown College has a research innovation division, and they did a needs assessment on mental health concerns on campus. Their discovery was that time management issues led to mental health problems. If we are able to utilize the scavenger hunt bingo at the campus, targeting first semester, first year students, this will help get information fast so the students do not waste time looking for resources. Right now, Media View is only an idea. However, we are able to bring it to life. We have a lot to utilize, such as the programming and resources that already exist at George Brown College. the Community Care Center, Student Association, GBC Careers, Tuning Learning Center. Regardless of the budget, we would like to pursue this pitch through getting the word out on social media platforms and referrals from counselors, placement on the school planners, workshops to integrate skills the students do not have access to. The scavenger hunt is promising as it hits the outcomes that the students need to meet. We would like to take the scavenger hunt bingo to lead students to the resources before mental health becomes problematic through priority management, which is to account for long-term goals. Thank you.
It is now time for the question and answer period. Judges, please submit your questions through the chat function at the bottom of your screen. Click on chat and use the drop down to ensure you send your questions directly to me, moderator Brittany Johnson. Denise from the Cooperators asks, how will you measure the program's success?
Hi, Denise. Thank you for your question. The way we'll measure success is how many people will be actually accessing the services and also their academic grades. If it improved, that would be another way of measurement as well.
Rashad from the Cooperators asks, what's the total budget and how would you like to fund the operating costs, if any?
Well, there will be workshops and incentives for the students. However, if we do have a budget, I would actually like to work with the Cooperators as for a mentorship so we can actually have the right direction with this pitch project.
Jessica from the Cooperators asks, is the scavenger hunt bingo a one-time activity? Or do you have plans to create additional versions and or run campaigns using this tool for older students or other target groups?
Yes, for sure. Thank you, Jessica, for the question. There can be different editions of this bingo. It doesn't necessarily have to be all of the boxes that you see here. It can actually be other additions through different organizations like the Community Care Center about pronouns, through consent, through suicide talk and naloxone training, different scavenger hunt bingos such as ways you can utilize, how do you say it, your semester through the semester mapping assignments.
Amy from the Cooperators asks, how exactly will you be reaching the students so they are aware of this bingo?
Well, we were planning to put it onto the student association planner. So when they're flipping it, they'll look at it and be like, whoa, that's something I want to do. And they'll look forward to it. We can also market through the existing marketing that George Brown College has and collaborate with other social medias on George Brown College affiliations.
Glenn from the Cooperators asks, how will the bingo format actually increase access to the resources as they already exist?
Well, as a first-year student myself, I noticed that my colleagues didn't have those resources. They didn't know how to access how to get the bursaries. They had mental health problems that they didn't know how to access. And with the bingo, it's actually going to be through word of mouth or marketing. And sorry, can you repeat the second part of the question?
There is no second part, just increasing access. How will the bingo format actually increase access to the resources as they already exist?
It's just to actually work with the community instead of working against it. We can also have referrals through the counselors and the different organizations out there at George Brown College to get the word out so people are more engaged. Oh, and also I would like to, if there is a budget, I would actually like to have an incentive for the students to have a journal through the future authoring. It is a software that successful students use to plan out their long-term goals 3 to 5 years from now. Oh, I would like to take this time to say thank you for volunteering to judge and
Your time has expired. Judges, please join me in congratulating the team from George Brown College, our final team of the day.
Thank you.
Students, you may now leave the meeting.